Premier League proven, guys. Premier League proven. Hey, Matheus Cunha finally has bagged his first goal for Manchester United, beating Brighton 4-2 at Old Trafford. It was a long time coming. It was a long time coming for Matheus Cunha. And to be honest, it couldn't have come at a perfect time because it's come at a wave where United are doing very well. And at the same time, it also come at a point where critics, they're starting to warm up their fingers to write nonsense about Manchester United, I'm pretty sure if he hadn't got his goal by now, already the papers would have been like, oh, United spent so much on this player. Look how much he has deteriorated. He is not, they bought him for goals and he's not scoring goals, this and the other. So, yeah, finally, you know what I mean? And well deserved. And this is a player that we brought in from the Premier League, who is Premier League proven, who has been in the Premier League, who has developed in the Premier League, and he knows how the Premier League works, right? Now, we look at a player like Bryan Mbeumo. Again, another player, started for Man United this season, been playing very well, he's been scoring goals, been assisting. Yesterday, did the brace, 60 minutes, extra time, sealed off the game, done and dusted, right? United did the right thing this transfer period by bringing in these two players. Even though we haven't got the CDM that we desperately need, and we can argue that there are other positions that need to be filled, I think we really did well bringing in Matheus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo specifically from this league, because it has gone to show that bringing proven players from this league works. We used to do that in the past, right? We used to bring in players from within the Premier League and it worked. And at some point, we decided to go, outside of the league, which is not a problem. I mean, we have also brought in players from outside the league and it has worked. But when you look at the years when United were really successful, it's because we brought in players from the Premier League who came in and got the job done because they understand the league. They know how it works. They know the physicality of the league. They know the pressures, the weather, the critics, the pressure, everything. They know it, right? And this has only gone to prove that this was a right decision. We can pull examples, right? Look at Arsenal. Arsenal brought in Trossard. Trossard came in, immediate impact, right? And he's still a good squad player. He's still a good first team player for Arsenal. That worked. Soon afterwards, they brought in Declan Rice. This season, they've brought in Eze from Crystal Palace, who just scored a banger today. All right. Liverpool brought in Van Dijk. Who is Van Dijk today? Van Dijk is probably one of the best centre backs, not just in the Premier League, but in European football. They brought in Allister, right? You look at City. They brought in John Stones. They brought in Jack Grealish. And every now and then they've been pulling other players. They got Jack Harrison. Yes, it didn't really work out for him, but you can sort of see these patterns. Chelsea, they've been doing it for a while, getting players from Brighton, Marco Cucurella, Caicedo, they brought in João Pedro, you know what I mean? Players that already understand the league. And then they get one or two players, and those are the big signing players. Those are the marquee players, players like Hugo Ekitike, players like Erling Haaland, players like Gyökeres for Arsenal, those players that are just elite. It doesn't matter whichever league they touch, they're just going to shine. So this should be a point of order for Manchester United going into the January transfer window. Because yes, we did the three-peat, we did the back-to-back, but the take away from this match specifically, especially after our great run of games and Matheus Cunha scoring that goal, is that United need to pull focus into bringing players from the Premier League who are Premier League proven, because it's working for other clubs and it can work for us as it's currently working for us, right? Now, big shout out to Lamens as well. I know we considered 2 goals, but to be fair, that Daniel homophobic free kick, guys. Come on. Sometimes you just gotta appreciate a good goal. And my word, what a stunner that was. What a stunner. Second goal, again, it's still that problem that United have with those type of balls coming into the box. We just fail to deal with those type of situations. And when you look at the goal itself, I mean, it was Joshua Zirkzee who was on that man, and Joshua Zirkzee is not even a defensive type of player, just completely standing in the wrong position to defend that goal. But it is what it is. Bryan Mbeumo, again, another proven Premier League player, came through for us in the end. All right. So United, where are we right now? 6th place, 2 points behind 2nd place, and 6 points behind 1st place Arsenal. Right. We're currently ahead of Liverpool. We're currently ahead of Chelsea. We're doing well. We have gone through hell. We have gone through difficult fixtures. We didn't get a result against Arsenal. It's fine. First game of the season. It's not fine, but you know what I mean. City, again, just an unfortunate match that we could have. City were going through a bad patch by the time we faced them, just like how Liverpool have been going through a bad patch just before we faced them. And we managed to take advantage of the Liverpool situation, but we never took advantage of the City situation. All right. So we've cleared Arsenal, we've cleared City, we've cleared Chelsea, we beat them. We've cleared Liverpool, we beat them. All right. And those were basically the 4 fixtures that we were extremely worried about. It would have been nice to get a point of Arsenal. It would have been nice to get a point of City, but still, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be, especially a couple of weeks ago when we were sitting so far down in the table. It was really hard to see like what things would look like after this match against after the match against Liverpool. Obviously, we played Brighton, but you know what I mean. We never thought by this stage United will actually be in a good position, not so far off the top. And you know what? It also helps that these so-called big clubs haven't had a good run of form. I mean, look, today City lost to Aston Villa 1-0. Liverpool lost to, was it Sunderland, I think? Was it Sunderland that beat them? And Chelsea as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, these teams have been dropping points. So there is good opportunity here for United to take advantage. Also the fact that we are not in Europe, right? There's more time for our players to rest. There's more opportunities to manage minutes of players that are really good for the squad but are injury prone, right? Lisandro Martinez also coming back from injury. And then we still have the other likes of the players that are not playing. So I'm pretty sure Ruben Amorim is going to manage those minutes accordingly. So things are looking good for United right now. Looking at the rest of the fixtures for this month, November, December, it's not bad. Like we can actually, I think, probably go the 2 months. I don't want to jinx it, but getting good points, actually going through those 2 months without losing any games. Unfortunately, we will be losing Bryan Mbeumo and Amad Diallo to the AFCON this year, but it's fine because I think we still have Kobbie Mainoo, right? Kobbie Mainoo can play in, I believe he can play in Bryan Mbeumo's position when we lose him. Maybe the only worry is Amad Diallo, but we still have Mazraoui, right? He's still a player that can fill that gap for us. So during that period, it shouldn't really be a problem, right? So if United continue the same run of form, there is a good chance for us to get back into Europe next season. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't look too far ahead and get overexcited. I would just say take every game in the moment. Right now we're playing good football, we're being consistent, and the one thing that I said is that the only thing that's lacking from this team is we're not scoring goals, right? We've been creating good chances, we've been getting into good spaces, but our forward players have not been converting when we desperately needed them to convert in games that we have lost or drawn, right? So it's all coming full circle. Right, like I said, United need to start scoring goals, because once we start scoring goals, we start winning games. Once we start winning games, we start moving up the ladder, right? And now everything is coming together. And now, we wait and see what the critics have to say now, because they've been making noise about the system, the system, the system. So what are they going to say now? So I'll be interested to hear what these guys are going to conjure up about Manchester United. But anyway, guys, that was a good game. 4-2. We got the 3 points. I know I haven't really touched so much about the game, because for me, the important thing was the players that we've brought in and the impact that they've had to the squad, to this team, and specifically where they have come from, right? Now all we need is for Benjamin Sesko, to get into gear, and we're all good. We've sorted out the goalkeeping problem. Lamens, right? Like I said before, Danny Welbeck, free kick, but Lamens has been stellar for us. Huge upgrade from Onana, from Bayende, right? He's I don't even know what to say. And he's young. That's the thing. Like, if he just continues this development, if he continues this form, if he's basically our next day here, right? And there's a possibility that we can have him for the next 10 years if he continues with this run or form. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. And if you got anything that you want to point out, any comments that you want to make, or any remarks on anything that I've said, leave it in the comment section down below as always, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.